everything around us has become more sexual. When you go online, on YouTube or Netflix, you're watching a movie or a television show that you enjoy. And you're watching that show because not because you want to see some sex scenes or something like that. You enjoy the storyline of the shows, of the movies. You enjoy the character development. You enjoy all of that. And then all of a sudden a sex scene pops up. All of a sudden a kissing scene pops up. And that can derail you, especially somebody who's trying to abstain from sexual thought. And if you're a guy, it's even harder because now not only is it more prevalent in movies and television shows that we watch, it's also more prevalent on in real life. We see girls that look a lot older than what they really are only because of the way that they dress. And that's scary. That's really scary. You go on YouTube Shorts. Eventually, you're going to pop and see some sort of TikTok, some sort of dance video. But look at the way that they're dressed. They're dressed more exposed. And if you actually listen to the lyrics of some of these songs that the younger generation are dancing to, a lot of it has hidden sexual messages behind it. A lot of it, the lyrics are sexual. The sound, the melody, like the sound effects are sexual as well. There's one song that's gone viral. I don't know what it's called, but it's just like an instrumental where it sounds like the bed is creaking. It's like do 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 do. Dude, the bed's creaking because of someone's doing it on the bed. And the thing is, it's like people are dancing to that, even though maybe out of innocence they don't understand the hidden meaning behind it. But we understand the meaning behind it. The guys that are older, we understand this. When we watch this stuff, we think about sexual thoughts automatically. We start thinking about it, and then we're scrolling, we're trying to find something that's more sexual to satisfy our craving. We find maybe a picture of a girl in a bikini, and then we move on to the actual videos and images of her without that stuff. And then we have lost our NoFap goal. We have lost our ability to abstain. And then we feel bad about ourselves. And not only that, what's even worse out of all that is that we lose our focus, we lose our clarity, we lose our energy, we lose our motivation to achieve our goals. And that is a problem in today's generation, is that every time we go online, every time we go out in public, in a social setting, something ticks us sexually. Something ticks us sexually. We see something, and then we get sexually stimulated. Maybe we see a billboard of a model promoting Gucci or Givenchy or some sort of clothing line or fragrance, but it's in a very sexual manner. And of course, sex sells. I understand that, but it's become a lot more. There's a lot more stimulus now compared to how it was 20, 30 years ago, even 10 years ago. It's become a lot more, there's a lot more stimulus around us sexually, sexual stimuli. And it's very difficult to escape this stuff. It's very difficult to avoid it because we are exposed to it every day. The moment we go online, we're going to see an image of something, or we're going to see a video or a clip or something. When we started listening to music, a lot of the music now has also become very sexual as well. Even the way that the people are dancing in the music videos is sexual. And for me, I find that really annoying. It actually gets me angry sometimes, because why can't we just have stuff that's pure, that's innocent, that doesn't have to be like this? Because it distracts us. It's like the industries knows how to affect us, affect our emotions. They know what's going to keep us glued, and you feel like you've lost control of yourself when you start looking at this stuff and you become addicted to this stuff. You lose control of your own self, and that's the worst feeling ever, when you don't have control of your thoughts, of your actions. And then you get angry, you feel regret, you feel frustration inside. It's like, why do I keep going back to the same problem over and over and over again? Why do I keep relapsing? Why do I keep thinking about all these sexual thoughts subconsciously? Why do I keep having sexual dreams? Right? And it's okay to have, it's natural for us to have sexual desire. It's absolutely natural. But not to this level where we're thinking about it all the time and then we act on it all the time. And then we get distracted and we lose our focus. And every time we look at a girl or look at someone of the opposite sex, we think about them in a sexual manner automatically. But we look at them, we look at them as an object. We don't look at them as another human being. That's what's happening right now in today's world, right? We look at somebody and be like, what can you give me? What can I gain from you? Can you give me some pleasure? What can I, it's like a very narcissistic mindset that a lot of us have, unfortunately, have developed over the years. And it's really, really destructive. And I feel like the cure for this is to just reduce consumption of going online all the time. Maybe have a time limit on your phone that tells you only for 1 hour a day or 2 hours a day where am I going to be online. When you go outside, try not to, when you see like a billboard or something that's sexual, or a girl that's dressed in a certain way, try to down your gaze. Try not to look at the person directly for too long, because then you might start getting thoughts again. There are ways to remedy this, to put you back on track, to keep you focused on your goals and stuff. Because honestly, guys, sex is just a distraction, Like having sexual thoughts all the time is just a distraction. Sex it should be naturally have one purpose, is to procreate, to create offspring, to create family. And the thing is, a lot of us have changed our mentality of sex, right? Because of how much we've been exposed to it online, and our thinking of it, our meaning of what sex is has changed. Now we just see it as just a short-term pleasure, like a drug. And I would just see it as a drug, but we don't see it as something to strive towards. We don't see it as a reward, that after working so hard you can get. Now it comes easy. Now we can just go on a website and we can satisfy ourselves very easily, right? But now if you really want to achieve something great in life, if you really want to put in the effort and the hard work, you have to steer away from all of this sexual stuff. You have to stay away from it, until you achieve your goals. And your goals you may achieve your goals in maybe a month to a years from now, but you need to stay focused. And it's natural, as I said, it's natural for men to have sexual tendencies a lot. It's natural for us to have our needs, but we shouldn't let that control us. We shouldn't act on it all the time. We should have self-control. We should be able to control our thoughts. We should be able to control our actions. And that's the only way we're gonna be successful and move forward and actually be motivated, to achieve our goals, is if we steer away from this stuff. But as I said, it's become very difficult now. If I go on YouTube and I'm watching videos about learning how to speak a certain language, right? I'm trying to learn how to speak Japanese. There will be some recommended videos on the side that are kind of related to the language, but kind of not. But there's there's a bit of sexual reference into it. The teachers are they're pretty hot. They're dressed in a certain way. There was one recommended video I saw on the side of a woman who was teaching Japanese, who was just wearing a bra, because that's how she's gonna get views. That's how because as I said, sex sells, right? But this is what I mean. We get distracted, and it's very difficult now. It's become very, very difficult. So guys, stay focused, man. Don't lose don't lose yourself in this. Because as you get older, it becomes even more important to be focused. It becomes more important to have discipline. Of course, having discipline at a young age, starting off at a young age, is great. But when you get older, it becomes more important to have self-control and discipline, especially when you reach your 30s, right? You need to have self-control. You need to be able to stay away from your desires. You shouldn't let your desires control you, and especially the sexual ones. Because if you let it control you, it can become an addiction, and a terrible addiction at that, where that's all you're thinking about. And you may make indecisive decisions. You may become angry all the time because you're not getting that drug. Because sex is a drug. You may make all these stupid decisions and all your goals will falter. Everything, it's like self-destructive mode, right? So guys, stay strong and keep moving forward and stay focused. Thank you.